I often get men that wonder, they're like, dude, she was just like all over me one day, and then the next thing you know, gone. Removed from social media, I'm blocked. And I'm thinking, well, you must have triggered some type of rejection wound there. If you do these 4 things in a relationship with a fearful avoidant, they won't come back. And I'm not saying that to scare you. I say it because I see people sabotage relationships with fearful avoidance every day. And it's not even because they don't care. It's usually because they don't understand how fragile emotional safety is for someone with a fearful avoidant attachment style. When a fearful avoidant leaves, they don't just walk away from you. They walk away from the version of themselves that felt vulnerable with you. The safety, the side that finally trusted, finally softened, finally believed maybe love could feel safe this time, has left. And when that safety breaks, even once, their nervous system records it as proof. They say, look, this is the exact reason why I don't trust people. This isn't safe. I can't go back into that relationship. So let's talk about the 4 things that make them reach that point. A little disclaimer, this information isn't to try to convince someone to stay in a relationship where you feel like your needs aren't being met. If you experience any type of a relationship where you feel like your boundaries are being crossed and you don't feel valuable, you really should be asking yourself, is this the relationship that I want to continue? And remember, if you want my help personally, click that link in the description below and book a time that you feel works out best for you. The first one is making them feel safe and then betraying that safety. This is the number 1 reason I see fearful avoidance don't come back. They crave deep connection, but it takes them a long time to build that trust. So when you finally become their emotional safe space and then you break that safety, maybe by lying or even a little white lie, mocking their vulnerability, sharing private things to other people, or even just minimizing their feelings and emotions, they don't see it as a mistake. They see it as danger. They see it as someone who is maliciously trying to hurt them. You got to remember, for them, safety is love. Once that safety's gone, love can't survive in that dynamic. The second thing would be yelling, screaming, or explosive reactions. I know it's kind of the kettle calling the pot black because they do that themselves. But you have to understand, conflict doesn't scare them. Emotional volatility does. A fearful avoidant grew up around unpredictable emotions. So when voices get raised or anger takes over, it sends them right back into fight or flight mode. They'll either lash out to protect themselves or completely shut down and disappear. You usually see it start to bubble up. You'll start to see them try to regulate, but once they get to the point where they can't, they blow up. And I want to make it clear, it's not about you being perfect. It's about emotional regulation. They're watching your tone, your pacing around the house, your body language. They're asking themselves, can I trust you to stay grounded when things get hard with us? If the answer is no, their walls are going to go back up. And it's most likely going to go back up for good. The third thing is poor or confusing communication. If you're inconsistent with your words, if you're unclear with your boundaries, or if you mix validation with criticism, you'll lose them in all that noise, because fearful avoidants are hyper attuned to emotional cues. They'll analyze every tone, every pause, every we need to talk. So when communication feels unpredictable, they assume that you've already gone, that you're done with them. And what they'll do is they'll retreat first so they don't have to feel that rejection. They need clarity and consistency. That doesn't mean become a doormat or put up with a lot of different things, because you do have to lay out your boundaries, but they need consistency from you. It means to say what you mean and mean what you say, because they'll pick up if you're just trying to people please them. And when they start to feel that, they'll feel like, all right, this person is inauthentic. The fourth thing is inconsistency. Once again, inconsistency is a silent killer for a connection with the fearful avoidant. One day you're emotionally available, the next day you're distant, you show up strong, and then you disappear for a week. To someone with an attachment style like the fearful avoidance, that unpredictability, it confirms that people always leave when they see the real me. You might see them text 100 things within a day, but then they go ghost because they feel disrespected or they feel rejected. I often get men that wonder, they're like, dude, she was just like all over me one day, and then the next thing you know, gone. And I'm removed from social media, I'm blocked. And I'm thinking, well, you must have triggered some type of rejection wound there. Your inconsistency reads as rejection. And once they believe they can rely on you emotionally, they won't try again. Just like the guy who got removed and ghosted. And it's usually out of stubbornness, because they do still miss you while they're in no contact. But because they have that avoidance side in them, they'll just flip a switch and move on in silence. Not because they stop caring about you, but because the relationship feels too dangerous to come back to. So if you've ever wondered why you're fearful of what an ex won't come back, or why they suddenly pulled away when things started to feel really good, it's rarely about the attraction or the love that they have for you. It's because they've been triggered into feeling unsafe. If this video was something that you enjoyed, click this link right here to learn a little bit more about fearful avoidance.